Well, a very good morning to you, and you join us just as the first wicket falls between in the match between Northerns and Border. Border have lost their opening batsman to a very, very good catch taken by the number 14 for Northerns. I'll get the team list for that team in a moment, and that leaves Northerns at 16 for 1 after 1.5 overs. Right, so the new batsman is Xolani Matiere. No, I lied. Sorry, it is Tim Stones, who is the wicketkeeper for Border. But facing at the moment is the opening batsman, number 11, Sonwabile Mkasi. He's a B3, as he just plays this straight back past the wicketkeeper. It is given as a no ball as well, and the score will move on to 18 for 1 in the second over.
Jonas Ndlovu. But you send him back in Ndlovu. You know ball, ne? You send him back in Ndlovu. No ball coming. Yeah,
Score now 21 for 1 after 2.4 overs. The bowler is the B3 Jonas Ndlovu, and he is batting. He is bowling to the border player who is, I think that is Sonwa Bilem Kazi. It is Xolani Matieri. Xolani Matieri, and he is also a B1. Really, really good drive out into the offside. It was in the air for a little while. There's a bit of a mix-up with the runner of Xolani. It is the runner is Tim Stones, and he was certain. No, it's not. Sorry, it's not Tim Stones. It is the opening batsman who's already out, who I think is Bongani Mengindi, and but he managed to get home safely. Another B1 bowler, it's Wiseman Makonzo. For his first over was very, very successful, one wicket for 6 runs, and so he will be bowling the 4th over now with the score on 21 for 1. Border reasonable start under cloudy, cold skies. Sweep into the square leg area, which is well fielded and sent back to that B1 bowler, who is having to prostate himself to try and get the ball back. No run.
What is score?
Ball comes through, reverse sweep, it goes, I don't think there was any contact with it, and it goes past the keeper, thrown back in, and they go through for a single. It is given as runs, and so the score goes on to 22 for 1. Played into the onside, attempted catch, the number 5 for Northern's Karabo Petla, spilling that at mid-wicket. A bit of a let off there by for the border players, and it is the B1 batsman who is Xolani Matieri who hit that. Again, almost prostrating himself as he plays it through the covers. Sliding stop by the number 12 for Northerns. That is Sihle Mokwena. There's a B2, and he gets the ball back in, and they go through for a single. 24 for 1. Swept into the onside, but it is well fielded, close to the square, and no run. 24 for 1 after 3.5 overs. Thanks, man. Thank you very much. Bit of a delay as we just organised the the B1 bowler in to get his final ball of the over in. 3.5 overs gone, 25 for 1. Rolls it through, it's swept into the onside. They jog through for a single. That is the end of the 4th over. 26 for 1 is the score. And despite losing that early wicket, Border are on their way. The start of the new over, it is a B3 player who is bowling. It is Jonathan Glover again, who is just starting his 2nd over. His 1st over went for 5 runs, so being reasonably economical. That was a dot ball. Fairly slow bowler. There's a double step by Sonmabile and a chance of a run out as it's played into the mid-off region. They scamper through for a single though. 27 for 1. Bowls again. The batsman really has to wait for it. It is given as a no ball for off the pitch bowling, and they feel very, very close for this B3 batsman, B1 batsman rather. My apologies. Batsman and bowler B1 at the moment. Olani Materi gets down on his knees. He misses the sweep, and there is a bit of an appeal, not sure what for. I think they were vaguely hoping it was caught behind. Another dot ball. 28 for 1 at the moment after 4.3 overs. Again, Kaulani gets down on his knee and tries to sweep that onto the onside, misses it, and it's comes through for a dot ball. That will be a leg side wide. 29 for 1 after 4.4. Down on his knee, shovels it forward, but it is collected by that ring of attacking fielders, and so a dot ball. One ball remaining in the 5th over. They are 29 for 1. Down on his knee, again fails to make contact. Will this be called a wide? No, I don't think so. Over is called, and so that is the end of the 5th over. Jonas's figures so far: 2 overs bowled, no wickets for 8, and Border are 29 for 1 after 5 overs. The bowler is going to be the B1 Wiseman Makonzo again. Or have they changed it? No, it is still Wiseman. This will be his third over. His figures at the moment, 1 for 11 off 2. And he is bowling to Sonwabile Mkasi, who is there on 12 off 15 at the moment. Straight through, dot ball. Wiseman preparing for his second ball of the over, and there is an attempted nudge to third man by Sonwabile, but it goes straight through to the keeper. Second dot ball in a row. Wiseman right arm over the wicket. This is down the leg side, and the batsman's able to sweep it through to a fine leg, and they come through for a single, and that will bring the B1 Kolani Materi on to strike. Wiseman is far too early on that, and he sweeps across the line. He misses it, and it hits the stumps, and the celebrations are epic. As Wiseman Makonzo, who I remind you is a B1, sets off on an epic loop around the field with his teammates chasing him. That is the end of Wiseman Makonzo, of Kolani Materi, and didn't manage to get the final score there. The score is 30 after 5.4, and so I'm sure we'll be told in a moment what Kolani Materi made. Yeah, he was out for 2, bowled by Wiseman Makonzo. The new batsman is going to be Lazola Daniels. He is a B3. He's got number 7 on his back, and so he will be joining the man who's still in one of the opening pair, Sonwabile Mkasi, on 11. No, who is 11. Sonwabile is there on 13 off 18 balls. And Wiseman's figures now, 2.4 bowled, 12 runs, 2 wickets. Very, very successful spell he's having. It is Lazola Daniels to face. His first ball of his innings. The keeper giving the call right by the stumps, but then moving quite a long way back as he plays it into the offside. There's an attempted diving stop by the B1 who's fielding at point. They have an attempted run out, but they come through for 2. Very, very good running, and good fielding as well by the number 12 for Northern Sikle Mokwena, and that takes them through to 32 for 2 with 1 ball remaining in the 6th over. He gets down and is able to sweep it past the umpire at square leg. They're thinking about 2. No, they're not going to take it. Probably was a run for the throw there. And that the end of that 6th over, 33 for 2 now. The batsman in Sonwabile Mkasi, he's on 13 of 18. Lazola Daniels, having just faced 2 balls, is already on 3. The signal we get from the umpire is that is the change of the power play, which means more men are allowed outside the field. I'm assuming that the rules are broadly the same as conventional T20, which would mean from here on out there are allowed to be 5 people outside of the ring. The change of bowler, it is going to be number 13, who is the B1 and captain of this northern side. He's Kenneth Mabela. There's Kenneth Mabela, who is the captain of the Northerns. Plays the reverse sweep very, very well, does Lazola Daniels, and they're going to come through for a rather risky second run, but they make it back in time. They actually even want a third for the overthrow. No, sense is going to prevail. They stay at 2, and that allows Border to get, not without some drama, through to 35 for 2. Ball goes straight past the bat of Lazola Daniels, and that is going to be a dot ball. Brings out the reverse sweep again. This, I think, is going to be called an offside wide. It is indeed. So that is another run to the total, and 36 for 2. Again tries the reverse sweep. He's playing it down to third man. It is fielded well and sent back to the keeper with minimum fuss. They go through for a single, 37 for 2. Sonobile is on 13 of 18. Lazola Daniels 6 of 5. Good running here by the Borders players. He progressed down the pitch and just allowed the ball to hit his bat as they immediately came through for the fast single, 38 for 2. Reverse sweep again. This one is in the air, but the man at a point is a B1, and so wasn't able to pick it up as it went past him. They get through for another single, 39 for 2, with 1 ball remaining in the 7th over. Good sweep. Oh, there's a bit of a confusion here. Daniels is going to have to rush back. It was a direct hit, a direct hit on the stumps from the keepers, throwing to the bowler's end. But he does make it in. It was very, very close indeed. That is the end of the over. 7 overs gone, 39 for 2. Sweep across the line. It is straight to the man at mid-wickets. Both batsmen are up the one end together, but eventually Lazolo Daniels manages to brave the run and scamper all the way back up to the non-striker's end, and they do eventually take a single. Bit of a discussion in the middle as to exactly what was going on there. It was actually Lazolo Daniels who's called the run, came all the way down to the striker's end after Sonwabile had played it out into the leg side, and it was Sonwabile then who was persuaded to make the run. Daniels facing now. Reverse sweep again. He gets it through the gap. This looks like it's going to go all the way to the boundary. It does indeed. That is the first 4 of the morning, and that takes Daniels through to 13 off 9, and the score is 47 for 2. It's fine.
Yeah. So you know.
This time he plays it on the other side. It's the conventional sweep, and there is a man there at fine leg. They go through for a single. 48 for 2 now, and Lazolo Daniels really getting into his rhythm. 14 off 10, and the score 48 for 2 after 8 overs. Played into the onside, and they are going to get through for 2, and that brings the 50 up in the first ball of the 8th over.
1 shot.
And he's run 1 short. So we'll take back that 50. It is 49 for 2.
That's 40 minutes.
Played into the onside, and there are a couple of guys converging on it. They're only going to get a single though. That was Sonwabile who was batting. Takes him through to 17 of 23. Lazolo Daniels 16 of 12 he'll be facing now, and that score is now 52 for 2. Daniels brings out the reverse sweep, but this time he skies it. There is a man at backward point there, and it is pouched very, very safely by him. We'll try and tell you who the fielder was there in a minute. That is the end of Lazola Daniels, who is beginning to look very, very dangerous indeed. He has gone for 16, caught off the bowling of Kenneth Mabela, and we're now on 52 for 3.
I forgot to swap the batsmen. Thing of 2.
Number 6 going in. Avuyile.
Into Ketchuban. Ketchuban.
Ay, ngibona one cap lo.
Awubonanga?
Anginazi kahle.
Ufana nawo.
Wena ngathena sibona ukuthi
Awubonanga ngisho.
Avuyile. Linda. Uthuse mama ama
Avile Nzimba. Avile. NDZIBA.
Nziba nethi
Mubango.
The new batsman is Avuyela Ntsiba. He is a B2, and the very first ball he receives from Kenneth Mabela is a no ball. 53 for 3. No ball again, 54 for 3.
54 for 3.
Linda ngiyabandilo you. Oh Linda.
Stop.
Ngibandisa.
This time he does manage to get it a bit straighter. It is a dot ball, but played into the covers and no run. No ball again. 55 for 3.
How many balls for look at them? Who's gonna be? Between one. I got 24. No 23. That's not 24 songs. So on a roll. People come in. Yeah.
How many overs have been played? At 9.
At the end of the 9th over, we are 55 for 3 at the moment. The two batsmen at the crease, Avuyela Nziba, he's naught after 5 balls, and Sonobile Mkazi is at 17. The new bowler is Tabang Sibande. He is a B2, and he's going to be bowling from the Parkhurst end. He'll be bowling to Sonobile Mkazi, who is there on 17 of 23, and the score 55 for 3 after 9 overs. So there's Sonobile advances down the crease again, looking for that quick single. There was a bit of a hesitation from his batting partner Avuyela, but they do come through for a single that takes them through to 56 for 3.
Number 14 certificate
Mina
that's the same guy yokuqala.
mina ngikhona ukubuyela emuva mangayitholi manje angikhona ukubuyela emuva.
Wide ball given. 57 for 3 after 9.2 overs. Is Ayovila facing, he shovels it onto the onside, but there are men there, and he's not as confident a runner maybe as Lazola Daniels was, and so they don't take one. Attempted stumping. I don't think he was ever anywhere near the leaving his crease. That will be a dot ball. Again moving it into the onside, but there is cover there, and yet another dot ball. This is turning into an economical over for Northerns, but for the fact that there's been one or two wides. But Kenneth Mabela is the bowler. He's also the... Is it? No, it's not Kenneth Mabela. My apologies. It is Tabang and Zabande. And they take a single off the final ball of that over. That over going for just 3 runs.
One not 3 knots with 1 wide, 77 balls. With 14 extras.
I've got 17 extras.
No, 18. Come on.
Mangaphuma amazipho hayi. See the marks. Who's number 141? Who's number 141?
The bowler is Ditsola Sebakeba, number 141. He's a B2 and quite a quick bowler, but that one was down the leg and a wide called 59 for 3 after 10 overs. No ball, rather, sorry.
No ball, just ball. Yeah, 18.
Played into the onside. There are guys who are chasing it. They're going to come through for at least 2. The throw is quite wayward, but they get to. That'll bring the 60 up in the 11th over, 61 for 3. The 2 batsmen, Avuyile and Zibe, is on 3 of 14. Sonobile 18 of 24. There's a possibility of a return catch here. Good attempt by Ditolo to try and take it diving forward, but it bounced just before him. He's slowed down his bowling action as well. Oh, same again, and nearly going back into the bowler's hands. 2 dot balls in a row now. So there is an appeal for a hit wicket. He's appealing to the wrong umpire. He should be appealing to the square leg umpire for that.
No.
That is the end of the over. 61 for 3.
Not.
Right, so there's a brief drinks break there. They're now back on the park, and the first ball is pulled straight into the lap of a B1 player at a short square leg. Unfortunately, it bounced out again. And so they come through for a single, 62 for 3. 63 for 3. Played straight back down the pitch, collected by the bowler, dot ball, 63 for 3. Again, he tries to shovel it onto the onside, but misses it, and so a third dot ball. This bowler really getting through his overs quickly, and he manages to keep it onto yet another dot ball. Attempted stumping, not out. The batsman never left his mark. But this is a good tight over here by, I think this is Tabang and Sabande. That is the end of the over. Good quick over. And so at the end of 12 overs, Border are 63 for 3. .64 for 4 in the 13th over. There was a strong hit there, straight back at the bowler, and it got to him on the bounce, but would have been a very, very good catch if he had been able to take it. Again, the slow ball, and this is in the air again. They're not, and he is given out. Hit wicket, I think. Yeah. Given out as hit wicket. He's not happy about it, is the batsman, but that is going to be the 4th wicket down. The batsman who's gone there is Avuyila Notsiba, and he is going to be out for about 4 runs, I think.
Then the rest of thoughts. And then works up pull and over there. 1 wicket. Yeah. 1. I mean dot 2. Okay, who's going in? It's severe body.
The new batsman is Siviwe Bosase. He's a B1, so he is just entering the field of play now. He will have a runner with him, who looks like it is going to be. That's going to be number 9, who's actually not on our playlist. So that's interesting. I hadn't realised that you could have a 12th man come on as your runner in this. Because of course we don't use runners in conventional cricket any longer, so I've actually got no idea whether a 12th man would be allowed to act as a runner in conventional cricket either. I don't think he is. Sorry guys, I don't know the playing conditions. You're allowed to use this calculator. He's not on the playlist. Number 9. Am I right? He's not on the...
No, I don't see any. Yeah. What is his name though? He's probably... What is his name? What is his name?
The guy came out, this is number 6. This is number 9. Right, so if you're wondering what the delay was, we had a new batsman who came in, the B1 Siviwe Bonase, and he had a runner with him who was not in the playing 11. So there was a bit of a query. We just had to make sure that that was legitimate. It wasn't. So they've had to change the runner And the runner who's gone out now is Walter Mover, who will be batting with, or running for Siviwe. The score, incidentally, is 70 for 4 after 13.1 overs. Next ball, Siviwe tries to shovel it onto the onside, doesn't get very much of it, but they do scamper through for a single, and so they will get the B1 single, which of course accrues to 2 runs, 72 for 4 after 13.2 overs. Is going to be Sonwabile Mkazi again, who is hits this very, very strongly down to fine leg. He manages to cut the field. That is going to go away for 4, 76 for 4 now, and Sonwabile on his way. He's 25 off 28, having hit 2 fours.
Ke power kwa ko pele kwa le sheba na
Next ball played. Oh, there's a confusion here. Are they going to make it back? Oh, and unfortunately it's the runner of the B1 batsman who has been run out. What an unkind way to get out. And that is going to be the end of Siviwe Bonase's innings. Poor running by the runner. He was keen to take a very, very ill-advised single, and his runner lands up getting run out. And the poor man had nothing to do with it whatsoever. That is the 5th wicket down, 76 for 5 now. The end of Siviwe Bonase for 6. The new batsman is the wicketkeeper for Border. He's Tim Stones, number 10, and he's going to be at the non-strikers end, which is where the run-out took place. Sonwabile Mkazi is the man who's going to be facing, having sent his partner back when he had run an entire length of the pitch. He was never going to make it back in time. He really winds up and plays that out into the mid-wickets. They come through for a single. They're looking for 2 here. Oh, there's a problem. There's going to be another run out. The throw was not strong enough, and they do come back for 2. But that was very nearly Tim Stones getting run out without having faced a ball. I think the running, as far as Sonwabile is concerned, is a bit chaotic. We had plenty of problems with him running with Lazolo Daniels as well. They scamper through for a single after a reverse sweep and 1 run, and that takes us through to 79 for 5 at the end of the 14th over.
141.
It is Ditatola Sebakeba who is going to continue his over. He's bowled 2 dots so far. He's bowling them to Sonwabile Mkazi, the opening batsman for Border, who's now on 28 of his 34 balls that he's faced. The score is 79 for 5, halfway through the 15th over. Played into the offside and not keen for a run this time.
Goes to his quick this over quickly, eh?
Advances down the pitch and again plays it straight back to the bowler. 1 ball remaining in this over. He advances again and but squeezes out into the onside. That is the end of the over. Very, very good over. Just a 1 run off it. And they, at the end of 15 overs, 79 for 5. And so we are in the beginning of the 16th over. The bowler is Tabang Nsabande. This is going to be his final over as Stones plays that into the offside, and there is a bit of a confusion. They're going to really have to work to get to the non-strikers in, but they do get there, and that is 1 run. Tim Stones gets off the mark on the second ball that he's faced. Batsman Sonwabile Makasi, he's 28 of 37. That score is now 80 for 5. And the bowler, of course, Tabang Nsabande, he is bowling his 4th over. No wickets for 16. Laps this one around the onside does Sonwabile. They're just going to jog through for a single. And played into the offsides, no run. There is a wide, in fact. A wide is called. There we are.
Previous of 110 balls. Previous of 110 balls. Extras 20, 12 and 8.
Played into the onsides. They run through for a single. And that takes us through to 83 for 5 now.
One, white one. Sure, no ball. No ball 1.
Bit of confusion there as they scamper through for a single. Score is 102 for 5 after 18 overs. The batsman at the crease, Makazi, he's on 40. Tim Stones is on 5, and Kenneth Mabella has just finished his third over. He's taken 1 for 18 off 6. The bowler is going to be Asanda Masondo to continue. He went for 10 in his previous over. Just 2 overs remaining. It's going to be a leg side wide, and 103 for 5. Played into the offside by Tim Stone, and no run. Tim this time just bunting it straight back at the bowler. Another dot ball. 103 for 5 after 18.2 overs. Again down, we are in the 19th over. The score is 103 for 5 as he bowls the third dot in a row.
I get it at 2 dot. No ball 1. Oh, 1. It makes sense. White and 4 dots.
So 4 dots so far in this over has been a much better bowling by Asanda Masondo, rescuing his figures somewhat after going for 10 in the first over. And Tim Stones gets low here. He plays it into the onside. They are going to try and come through for a single. There's an attempted run out, but Sonwabili gets through fairly comfortably, and they do take a single. 104 for 5 after 18.5 overs. Sonwabili Makazi is on 40. Tim Stones is on 6. Double step. No real reason to run up the pitch if you are playing blind cricket, because you're not able to get to the pitch of the ball or anything, but Sonwabili does it regularly and just squirts that away for a dot. And after 19 overs, Border are 104 for 5. Right, so now the final over of the innings. Tim Stones is going to be facing. The bowler is, we think, going to be Kenneth Mabella. Are we agreed that there, ladies? Kenneth Mabella, the bowler, hey? Should be number 13. There we go. He's the captain of this northern side. And this is played into the offside. Tim Stones scampers through for a single. So Stones to 7. Sonwabili is still there on 40. Kenneth Mabella's in his 4th over. He's taken 1 for 19 so far in this match. Attempt to drive the ball into the onside, but it is called as a wide. So they will bowl that again. Attempt to play this onto the onside. That'll be the second wide. It's gone. So the balls so far have been a single and then 2 wides in a row. 107 for 5 after 19.1 overs. Sonwabili chases that one, but it was very wide. In fact, it is given as a no ball for being off the pitch. So turning into a rather unnecessarily expensive final over here for Northerns, and given us a no ball again. They do manage to get something on it. And so that takes them through to 110 for 5 now. Again played into the offside, a good scampering single. And they move on to Nelson, 111. Certainly enough of a total to bowl at here, and I think Northerns will be reasonably confident that they can restrict that they will be able that they will be able to get to this total. Although in the effort to get some final runs on the board and possibly get to his 50, I think Sonwabile is having a bit of a swing at everything and not really connecting too much. Once again advances down the pitch. It is going to be called as a wide though, and the total now 112 for 5 with 3 balls remaining in this final over, but there have been 4 wides in a row. Or 4 extra balls rather. Sweeps into the onside. He will get a couple of runs here, at least 1. Are they going to come back for 2? No, they're just going to stay with the single. So he goes on to 42. The total goes on to 113 for 5. And we are now in the final 2 balls of the innings. Kenneth Mabela just guided back to the wickets by the umpire. There's a slight change of field as well. They're confident that Tim Stones is not going to play that lap sweep. Although he gets set up to do it, no, he plays it forward of square. They play it directly to the B1 fielder at short mid wicket, and they are able to take a single. 114 for 5. Final ball of the innings. He really gets hold of this and plays it out into the mid-wicket area. Does Sonwabile? They should come back for a second at least, and that is probably going to be the end of action for this innings. 2 runs taken on the final ball, and that is the end of the over and the end of the innings. We finish on 116 for 5. Sonwabile Makasi 44 of 58. Tim Stones, the other not out batsman, 9 of 15. And Kenneth Mabela, he was the bowler there. 4 overs, he took 1 wicket for 30 runs. Well, a very good morning to you, and we are back with the batting innings of Northerns as they look to chase 116 for 5 that Border put up. My name is Simon from 1WSR.com, working with Pitch Vision today, and with me is one of our newbies at 1WSR, Chris. Chris, thank you very much for joining us.
It's an absolute pleasure, Simon. Having a great experience. Great shot through the onside by Simpiwe, and they're taking 2 runs. Bit of misfill there.
Scamper through for 2. So is that Noble and then 2? Give it to me.
Give a Noble.
No, give me the over again. Noble.
Noble 1.
Yeah.
White.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
1. Noble.
Yeah.
White and a 2.
Wide. 2. Okay, we're having to multitask here, so I'm going to allow Chris to do much of the commentary while I can.
Close call there. Brilliant shot through the onside by Simpiwe, and he scampered through for 2 runs. Brilliant recovery there from the fielder.
They take 2.
And it took 2. White ball called. The score is 10 runs from 0.4 balls in the over. Oof. Close call. Great innovative calling. Simpiwe drops it just near mid wicket and is scampered through for 1 run. Great shot over mid on. Batsmen are looking for 2 runs, and they managed to make it through for 2 with ease. So after the first over, we are sitting at 15 runs, and Northern start off on a good foot, chasing down the first inning score.
I've screwed this up.
11 balls. Extra 2-2. That's 4. 2-3. 2-3, ne? 5. Five of 3 and 6 of 5. 4. 4 of 3.
Top shot. Hit through to mid off. Looking for 2. Could be out. And he makes it safely in. That was a very close call. Great running in between the wickets by Northerns.
Time 11 or 6.
Great shot through to square leg. They're looking for 2. Border fielders have started now to think about how they're fielding within the pitch, because they're seeing Northerns is taking advantage and taking those quick twos. Great ball. Just came through outside off. Quick single. Northerns managed to scamper through for 1 quick single. Border need to look for a strategy whereby they pull their fielders in a bit closer to stop those quick singles in between the wickets.
Sorry, guys, I'm going to have to ask you to read me the
Great shot from Simpiwe. Good fielding.
last 2 overs, please. At the end of this over, can we do that?
Drills it into
So it's 2 1 1.
the wicket keeper.
2 1 1.1. Okay, which over?
From the beginning of the first over, and we'll read right through because I missed that first
Number
noble one. Yeah, I've got. We'll do it at the end of this over.
Golani to bowl. Simpiwe takes a shot to mid-off. They're looking for 2. Will they get it? No, they decide to go against the second run.
6 of the over.
Great comeback over so far from Border. Golani did well to pull back the team.
2 6 21 for nuts.
Okay. Right, so we are 23-24 without loss now after 2.4. So what we'll do for a bit is I'll do ball by ball, and you can jump in with comments and so on, and then we'll swap over when we feel necessary.
Fantastic.
So the bowler is Bangela Mangindi. He is a B2 bowler. He was one of the opening batsmen for Border, and he is going to be bowling to Karabo Petla, who that was a leg side wide, and so 1 run a cruise. Right, come over, rolls it through, a bit of a reverse sweep, goes through to the keeper, no run.
Great innovation there. Quick thinking, saw the gap.
Yeah, I mean, the reverse sweep is a far safer shot in this cricket than it is in conventional cricket, I think. It's far more a legitimate tactic. I know that you guys at Stain City like to teach the kids it early. I'm not a big fan. Sure. Wide is called, and they'll move on to about 25 without loss now. It's been a good start by Northerns. They are certainly one of the 2 form teams, along with Gauteng, in this competition. Had a couple of very, very strong performances yesterday. This is an aerial shot straight back over the bowler, and the bowler himself is the one who's going to be collecting it. A spectacular collection and dive back, but they do come through for 2 runs, I think.
That was brilliant commitment.
It really was. He was putting his body on the line there. Which, considering he's barely able to see what's going on, is phenomenal courage as well.
Absolutely.
26 balls.
Okay, you go for ball by ball for a little bit, and then I'll I'll jump on if necessary.
So I think we're having change of bowler, or is it still Kolani coming from the other end?
Right,
Yes.
it is a B1 bowler, whoever it is. So the umpire just showing him the stumps there.
Yes, it's still Kolani. Mchedi.
So Kolani.
And taking strike at Simpiwe Kosa.
Bowling from the green side end. Do you know what the ends are called here at at Pirates? I would
not
imagine
quite sure.
a club with a sense of humour like Pirates probably does have names for them.
Oh my goodness. What a beautiful ball by Kolani. Simpiwe tried to double step and managed to miss the ball. Border takes its first wicket for the innings.
Yeah, and that is the first breakthrough by Border. We'll give you a Simpiwe's score in a moment once we get that sorted out. It is curious for me. There's absolutely no reason to use your feet when you're playing blind cricket. I mean, the whole trick is just to get down low.
Yeah.
And yet that's the second time I've seen guys double step and run past a straight one.
I think they, for a minute, I think Northerns might have slightly just gone ahead of themselves because they started quite well. Maybe a little bit of overconfidence there from Simpiwe.
I think so. Certainly going for the glamour run of a double step. So Simpiwe is now going to stay on the pitch. He's going to be a runner for. Simpiwe, number 7, is going to stay on the pitch because the new batsman is Wiseman Makonzo. He's a B1, and so they obviously need runners. So this is the only form of cricket where runners are still used.
Very interesting.
Still in the law. Every single batting conditions, bans are
Very absolutely interesting. The Northerns have started well. Good run rate. Quite absolutely right on track to chase down Border's target.
Yeah, so the target was 116, and they've off to a cracking start, over 10 runs and over. So as long as they can maintain this, I mean, it'll be a doddle, I would think. There were long periods where Border really were struggling to hit the ball off the square, and the Northerns bowlers had them tied up. Not quite sure what the delay is here. We've got our new B1 batsman waiting on the pitch while they organise who's going to be his runner for him.
It's nice to see now Border has found a way or a tactical strategy to pin down the run rate. And they found a way also just to stop those quick twos in between the wickets. I'll not necessarily say sloppy fielding, I'd say maybe more of clever batting from the Northern batters.
Yeah, there's a lot of the skill in blind cricket is being aware of who is fielding where. So you try and target the guys who are B1. There's usually one or two gun fielders in each team who are able to see the ball reasonably well and have a strong arm. Yeah. So you need to, work away from them. Those guys are almost always fine leg or maybe in the mid wicket area.
Oh, now I see.
Yeah. It is just naturally quite difficult to score anywhere other than from mid wicket round to fine leg in this, and which is why they use the reverse sweep so much. It gives them the other option there.
Option.
But driving back past the bowler is relatively rare.
Don't we normally, or doesn't it normally happen maybe with your B3 batters?
You see it a bit, but even the B3 guys will sweep more than they'll do anything else. So if it does go back past the bowler, it's invariably a very cross bat, like a hockey pass up the line. It's that type of shot. In fact, there's a part of me that thinks these guys would be far better off with hockey sticks than they would with
conventional cricket bats.
And I wonder whether there has been any attempt to adapt a bat for blind cricket.
Something worth looking into.
Yeah, I don't know whether how great the demand is necessarily, but it's I would imagine that you want probably the lightest bat possible by the nature of the game.
Yes.
And if you have a look at the Gauteng opening batsman, they don't take a conventional stance. They actually hold the bat in front of them, almost like a tennis player waiting for a serve, because they are ready to go straight into the sweep.
This is very interesting.
Yeah. It was the first time I'd seen that type of stance yesterday when they were employing it. I think there's a lot of thought goes into Gauteng's setup.
Yeah.
They certainly just look streets ahead in sophistication. Whereas,
so how many of our national players are actually in the CGL side?
I don't know the setup at all. This is literally my third day around blind cricket. I spent a day umpiring a few months ago, and now I've spent my second day commentating. But I would imagine quite a few. I know they'd certainly pointed out one guy to me.
Yeah.
I know there's one or two playing for KwaZulu-Natal. I think there's one guy for Free State as well. But it'd be interesting to see exactly who's who.
I was just having a thought in the morning that it would be worthwhile to actually spend a bit of time and perhaps maybe visit CGL, since we're locally based, and just visit the CGL facilities and get an in-depth understanding onto more of the coaching ethos that goes behind coaching blinds cricket.
Yeah, I think that there's the nice thing about blind cricket is that there's significant opportunities for innovation, and to really the mistake I saw when I umpired was the coaches seemed far too married to conventional cricket, and weren't maybe as thoughtful in terms of where the scoring areas actually are. So. Straight back behind the keeper is a big scoring area in blind cricket, and for me you should always have 2 or 3 guys behind square, one just on the offside, so that you don't get nailed for the 3 guys behind leg.
That's exactly one of the discussions we were having in the morning.
Yeah.
I just had a discussion just now with Kishan Pillay, and that's exactly what he pointed out, that he was amazed that those areas in specific were not actually covered in regards to fielding. I guess, but when you mention innovation, I'm just thinking from the top of my head, from a coaching perspective, that with the coaching, a lot of audio and touch is essential in terms of making the players understand or aware of how to actually hit the ball.
Yeah, I mean,
the kind of movement that needs to happen.
That's a very interesting point you make, because of course you work as a professional coach, don't you?
Yeah,
and so that observation is fascinating. I mean, you know the difference between dealing with 6-year-old kids and 18-year-olds, and similarly, I mean, there must be it must be a very interesting experience to introduce players who have been blind from birth to the game for the first time as well, because they've never seen it. They've got a very must have a very weird understanding of what cricket actually entails.
Yes.
Whereas when you come across 7 or 8-year-olds who are keen cricketers, they will have all watched it on TV. They have a basic understanding. They can mimic their favourite players and so on. Okay, there is a significant break here, so what we're going to do is switch our audio off for a while, and we will wait and find out exactly what's going on. Right. Well, the reason for the delay was that the B1 glasses had paint peeling off them, and so were see-through, which is a bit of a problem. I'll explain the reason for those glasses. The B1 players are completely blind players. To ensure that they are completely blind, or to be allowed to play at B1, they must wear completely opaque glasses. So I suppose theoretically I, as a sighted individual, could put those glasses on and play as a B1 player. And they found that those glasses were slightly see-through, which was a bit of a problem. But we're back. We're in the fourth over, and the score is 34-1.
Good shot there to start off, Simon, from Wiseman.
Yes, Wiseman is one of the B1 batsmen. So he relies very, very heavily on sound alone to bat. And you can see how he gets so low down there. It's very much a hockey shot rather than a cricket shot, isn't it?
I'm really getting excited, Simon, looking at all these fascinating players.
So Wiseman's struggling a little bit with his timing there, playing the ball way too early on both of those. As it was, they were both leg sides, so both called wide. The bowler himself, also a B1, Xolani Matieri. Okay, so you're doing ball by ball for us, huh?
Great shot there by Wiseman. Northern scramble through for a quick single.
It's played into the onside, and that will be 2 runs accruing to the total because it was from a B1 player's bat. So 41 for 1 now after 3.4. Northerns need 76 off 98 balls, a required run rate of 4.5.
He's calling 2. Miss Grimper for a quick 2. A bit of a misfill there.
Very good running by them. I think they,
From Oaha.
you know, it comes back down to that awareness of who's doing the fielding.
Absolutely.
You know, what level is he? Is he going to be able to see the stumps to be able to throw back again? All of these sort of things.
Use his feet. Great shot. Absolutely beautiful shot through to backward point. Tim is running for the ball, chucks it in. Direct hit. Absolutely beautiful fielding from Tim.
Tim was down as the wicketkeeper. Is he? Oh,
Took
he
off
is
his
still.
gloves.
Yeah, he has got his
Took off
gloves.
his gloves.
Okay, all right.
Took off his gloves.
Took both of them off. That's an unusual ploy by a keeper.
Yeah, 17.
This is absolutely fascinating to watch, Simon. I'm just thinking on the top of my head that for our B3 batters,
20.
getting them used to the sequence of sound.
The B1 batters, the B1 guys.
The B1 batters,
yeah.
yes, the B1 batters, sorry. It will be a crucial coaching point to
Yeah.
get them understanding or hearing or heightening the senses in terms of how far or how close is the ball to the what I normally call a strike zone.
It would be fascinating to see what the elite places like Australia and England do, because I bet you there's a lot of auditory training
Yes,
with the top guys.
absolutely. Change of bowlers. We have Lazolo Daniels bowling.
Did very well as a batsman in the opening innings. Well, he did okay. He was batting very, very nicely, and then he managed to get run out in a comedy run out.
I think now Wiseman is starting to get his bearings a little bit.
Actually, I think I'm incorrect. I think Lazola Daniels actually was caught at backward point.
Backward
Surprisingly good catch, actually.
Ooh. Great shot through to mid wicket. Tabang is looking for 2, and they call it and they run for it. They're looking for an opportunity for a 3rd run, but they decide to go against it.
So you see, Chris, that's a very typical field setting in blind cricket. Those 2 close guys are both B1 players. So what they will do is just drop to the floor the second that the ball is hit near them, in the hope that they can
Stop the ball.
very much like a hockey goalie.
Okay.
And
Very
so
interesting.
there you go. gets his body down, manages to stop it with his legs, and fire it back into the keeper. And then behind him will be a B2 or B3 player who will be able to collect and send it back in.
Ball 38.
It's very fascinating. I'd imagine that these are the routines they'll go through at practice.
And you see, one of the Free State guys is a big burly guy, one of the B1s, and he stands very close with a chest pad on, and just trying to take up as much space as possible, and allowing the ball to hit him all the time. It's a brutal position.
But it seems like it's a working strategy, and a lot of thought was put into coming up with such strategy.
Absolutely.
Tim Daniels bowls,
11, 17, 26, 27, 25.
and it's out. Unbelievable.
A Jonty Rhodes style run out there almost. It was played directly to square leg, and they came through for the quick single, and the square leg was able to actually run in and hit the wickets with the ball given out. But I thought that was closer than the umpire's certainty suggests, actually.
Yeah. Brilliant fielding from Border. What an absolute phenomenal way to get a wicket. It seems like slowly Border's pulling themselves back into the game, especially with the fielding.
Or indeed, that's the second wicket down. The man out
Tabang.
was Tabang Nsabande. He scored 19 off 16 balls, strike rate of about 120.
11, 37. What are making money in that?
He's living for the mover, Walter.
Direct hit.
Yeah, he went straight to the ball. For the
Yeah.
wickets, yeah.
So the next batsman should be
See number 9. Asanda.
Asanda Masondo, he's a B3 player.
And he'll be facing us.
Okay, correct.
The score 50 for 2 now after 4.5 overs. Northern still require another 67 runs off 91, so it's the required run rate of 4.5, but their current run rate is 10.3. So they are well ahead of proceedings. They should almost get there within by the 10th or 11th over if they carry on and don't lose too many wickets.
I think something needs to change in terms of the fielding plans. If I was the Border captain, I'll think about bringing people more closer, because Northerns have come up with the strategy that they're gonna push the fielders for 2. So just can bring in 2 people close to the batsman. Exactly how they came up with the strategy for Wiseman. Very tight fielders on the batsman, and getting that quick single now it became too hard, and that's how they created that pressure, and that's how the wicket came about.
Yeah, there was also what was happening there was that it was a B1 batsman, and you'll see the circle encroaches in for a B1, because they know the guy's not going to hit it nearly as hard as the B3 guys.
Yes.
And that is exactly what resulted in the run out. So it is going to be Asanda Masondo to face his first ball.
19 or 17 plus. 16. And then the other
And he
one.
just dinks this into the offside, and they're going to take a quick single.
It goes back to tactically what I just saw, Simon. Northerns are quite smart. I still have a feeling that if Border wants to tighten up the screws onto Northerns, then they just need to bring those fielders closer and force Northerns to actually hit big. And it's a simple rule of cricket. I mean, bowl straight, you miss, I hit.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel that kind of pressure if they bring in those fielders a little bit closer. Even if it's 1 or 2, just bring them a little bit tight to the batter. It might put a little bit of pressure and force him to take that huge risk and go big.
The offside line is also very, very important in blind cricket. The second you come straight or leg side, it is so easy to just sweep people around the corner.
Yes.
Whereas that offside line, that's where you get the ball getting hit back to the bowler all the time, and it becomes quite difficult to bat when the ball is outside the off stump. So that is the end of the over. After 5 overs, Northerns are 51 for 2, chasing that total from Border of 116 for 5. Certainly very much in control of this chase so far.
Great fielding there by Lazola.
It was a strong shot into the leg side by Asanda Masondo. Not the typical sweep, but actually a conventional flick off the pads, actually. That's the difference between a B3 bowler, a B3 batsman and a B1, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or even a B2. B2 would not have been able to play that shot.
Goes down leg. Wide is called by the umpire. I feel this is where Kolani needs to be a tad smarter, bowling to Wiseman, and just tighten up that line on the off stump. Great shot, great effort on the field by Kwanele. Great stop there, putting his body on the line.
Yeah, the B1 Wiseman just lapping that around the corner, and of course his runs count for 2, so that takes the total up to 56 for 2 now in the 6th over.
So that was a close one.
So what happened there is it was driven straight back to the B1 bowler, and they took a single to him, even though the ball was not even 2 meters away from him. But of course he didn't know it. And once this ball stops rolling, it stops making a sound, and it becomes impossible for the B1 guys to find. So although it looked like an insane signal to sighted folk, it was actually a very, very safe run.
Yeah. That's called a no ball from Golani. Do you reckon that an innovation may be putting an actual speaker of some sort that the ball just continues making a sound, so it can also assist the B1?
Wouldn't be
players?
a terrible idea. It would be incredibly irritating to play with, but
What an absolutely beautiful catch. Great catch there.
I'll let you describe that to us, Chris.
Kolani bowled, and Kolani's just doing an absolutely marvelous job. He's just bringing Border back in. Hold the ball right, outside off. Wiseman tried to go for the shot. Head popped up in the air. He got caught by Boyelwa. Absolutely brilliant. This is exactly what I was talking about, Sai. That they need to bring in, because they're defending a very low total, 116. At this rate, and at the rate that Northerns is going, will be quite easily got a 10 and over. So they just need to take that big risk and just bring the guys in, and probably maybe pull square leg a bit far, just to cover the boundary, but just to put pressure on the batters and just to force them to take those risky singles.
Yeah, so 12 runs to Wiseman, and he's the 3rd wicket down. 58 for 3 now after 5.5. And although Northern's well ahead of run rate, they are halfway there. In fact, they are beginning to lose wickets, and if that continues, this game could still have many twists and turns.
Yeah, like any form of cricket, whether male, female, etc. Partnerships are very important.
Left-handed batsman is Lesedi Lesufi. Lesedi is a B2 player. So both these guys we've got a B3 and a B2 batting together. But confident shots into the onside, and he's off the mark.
Great shot there from Lesedi. Bit of innovation would need to happen from Border as a left-right hand combination. Top shot, all the way to the boundary. Great shot from Masanda.
Yeah,
Putting the pressure right back onto Border.
He enjoys this very upright shot where he's not down and sweeping. He's really getting some bat speed going. And while it must be a much riskier shot for a B3 player, certainly no one other than a B3 player would be able to play it.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
But because he gets so much more bat speed, he's able to hit the ball a lot further than the guys who are sweeping. He goes for it again. Didn't really get hold of that at all, just played it into the onside, but into a gap in the field, and they are going to take 2. The running between wickets in this game has not been great. Border frequently found themselves 2 batsmen at one end, and they've managed to run one short as well, which is a pity.
But Don't you reckon strategically, Simon? It's just an observation I've just made just now. I understood that your B1 fielders will be most likely be close to the wickets, and more or less your B3 fielders will be more or less outside the inner ring. But seeing how Northerns is tactfully aware of those ploys, because they know it's commonly tactics that will be used. I still feel it would be quite a little bit smart if you have one of your B1s just close, especially on the leg side, just to stop those quick signals. Because now you just saw
one of your
B3s, yes.
B3s, yes.
You need one of your B3s, because you just saw now Mawala, who is a B1. The ball was just quite close to him right there at mid-wicket, but in terms of getting or stopping that single, he found it very difficult to move because the ball stopped making that the noise or sound.
I completely agree. I think that you probably, you will know intimately the level of disability amongst all of your teammates. So you probably want to do is pick your best sighted B2 guy to be that sort of roving close to the wicket type of position, and keep your B3s for where they really are going to have to run a distance and find the ball. And your B3s also need to be in the catching positions, such as they are. Played into the onside, back of the square. They're going to come through for a single. That takes them through to 65 for 3. The two batsmen facing now is going to be Asanda Masondo. He's 8 of 5. Lesedi Lesufi is 2 of 3. And the score 65 for 3. The required run rate now under 4 runs and over.
Northerns quickly scramble through for a single, which will be signalled a bye.
It is indeed.
I think there's a lot of potential with our current bowlers, Boyelo Mangidi. Great shot, top shot, onto the leg side, looking for 2. Scamper up for 2 quickly. Could be a runner chance.
No, they needed the direct hit there, I think.
Yeah. A bit of a fumble there and a misfill from Boyelo, and Northerns managed to scramble through for 3 runs.
The left-handed Bundiling Lesedi Lesufi now. Oh, he slips.
Run out opportunity.
Opportunity
Direct
for
hit.
No, he knew that it wasn't going to be hitting the wickets, I think. Yeah, he's obviously not batting with spikes, and his feet got out from underneath him there.
Yeah. Do you reckon bowling speed plays a role here? Like, with your conventional cricket, you have your quick bowlers, you have your spinners, your medium pacers.
It's given out as hit wicket there, and which is something we see quite a lot in this. So it's a disappointment for the Northerns batsman. He's angry with himself. Guys who put quite a lot of spin on the ball and can swerve the ball as it rolls, which is obviously an important tactic as well. The really top fast bowlers here are able to pitch the ball just in front of that halfway line, and then have it roll through quite quickly.
Okay.
Underarm. So they have to be underarm.
Okay.
But of course, the closer to yourself that you pitch it, the slower the ball's going to be, and the more warning that a batsman will have that it's coming, because he can hear it from further. But if you can keep it in the air until just before that halfway line, the batsman will only hear it as it pitches, and so that essentially doubles your speed.
It's interesting.
Yeah, but I don't think pace is nearly as much of value in blind cricket as it is in conventional cricket. The primary thing being that it's quite difficult to keep a ball that's rolling on the straight and narrow, and I think the harder you bowl it, the more impact it's going to have on little imperfections in the pitch and so on, and be less accurate.
Okay, it's very interesting. On strike, we still have Asanda, and our new batter just come in is Jonas Ndlovu. He's a B1 batter.
Have you seen his number?
Yes.
Is he number 3?
Yeah, yes.
Who's that?
Jonas Ndlovu. No.
It's number 18.
Number 18, sorry, we're wrong. It is Bandile Nkosi, you were correct, sorry.
Top shot through to Carl corner. They're calling for 2. There's the call. They're looking for a third run. And Northern's managed to get 3 runs easily. Great shot there from Asanda Masondo. Asanda looks like he is the big hitter, their go-to guy.
Yeah, it's certainly making a huge difference to their run rate at the moment. And I think if they can just keep on cycling the strike back to him, they'll get home with no problem whatsoever. The fact that he is batting with a B3 is going to with a B1 batsman is going to be slightly tricky. But as long as that B1 can just shovel it into gaps and they can come through for the single, they'll be fine. No ball is the call.
No ball.
Scorers 69 for 4. No, 70 for 4. 72 for 4.
Siviwe is a B1 bowler for Border. So I think it's quite a fair match or fair pay. A B1 batter and a B1 bowler. This is where Border needs to be tactfully smart, where by the one to starve Asanda Masondo off the strike as much as possible if they want to be still in the hunt to win the match.
Severe was very, very unlucky in the batting innings. His running partner, his runner, ran himself out on his second ball. And so through no fault of his own, he had a very, very short innings.
It's called a wide ball.
Wide ball called, leg side wide. That takes us to 74 for 4.
Is it within the rules that a B1 bowler would need to be assisted as much as a B1 batter is assisted in terms of the running?
The B1 bowler doesn't really get assistance, other than you'll often see the keeper will come up as that is a dot ball. The keeper will call to him. So you can hear him calling, and then he uses that as an audio cue as to where he's going to bowl. And most of the keepers actually come up to the stumps to do it. Stones here doesn't seem to be quite as diligent with that.
White ball called.
One of the reasons that this is played with metal stumps as opposed to conventional stumps is that the bowlers and the batsmen will often hold on to the stumps to get a feel for where they are and to orientate themselves.
I see. Well, it's the conventional stumps, not the bowlers will keep.
Yeah, they'll keep falling off. Yeah.
This is deeming to be a very long over for Siviwe. Could understand it could be frustrating for him that he's not getting the mark correct. Gets one ball in. Brilliant comeback.
Peel for LBW, considered not out.
That is a brilliant comeback. Now he just needs to work on the consistency and just keep the ball there.
It's going to be another dot ball. This is a good over here from Siviwe. 76 for 4. And another dot ball.
Great comeback indeed.
So one ball remaining in the 8th over, 76 for 4. Northerns need 41 runs off 73 balls, 6 wickets in hand. So the run rate is not going to be a problem. Border really need to get into the wickets here.
White ball called. within the legalities of the game.
What is?
The the batters taking a run before the ball gets
Well, I suppose
to strike us in.
if he doesn't mind getting run out, getting mankaded.
But I think that was actually tactically incorrect.
Yeah.
Asanda now has strike, and I'm assuming that there's 2 balls left in the over.
There's 1 ball remaining.
One ball
yeah,
remaining in the
so-
over. I mean, he should have stayed on the other end and hold the
Exactly,
strike.
yeah, I think you're quite right. Oh, and he lands up, missing the ball, and it is considered another no ball, but it was a dot ball, so that it could have really been the worst of both scenarios
Yeah.
for them.
But regardless, I think he's thinking runs.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that he'll want to take 2 or 3, whereas he actually
Yeah,
wanted
set
to
him-
retain the strike.
Set himself up to hit it straight back past the keeper. That is the big scoring area for B3 players, and he gets it away for 4. And that takes us through to 85 for 4, and Asanda is on 19 off 11.
It's a little bit unfortunate there for Lazola. Great effort on the boundary to try to stop the 4, but unfortunately could not manage to pull the ball back in. This is what I exactly meant, Simon, that tactfully, if Borders has their thinking caps on, they'll want to attack the B1 batter.
They will indeed, and exactly what we were talking about earlier is that they've got 2 conventional fielding setup with only 1 guy behind behind the keeper. And he wasn't even behind the keeper. I think he was at a sort of conventional third man.
Yeah.
That shot straight back past the keeper is an absolute money shot in, particularly when you've got B3s batting. And I think they need to be a lot more sophisticated about how to turn those around. What I see the field change for B1s and B3s. I don't see the field change for B3s and B2s, and I'd like to see far more of that.
It'll show that a lot of thought has been put in terms of tactics, not to plug out those gaps on the field or potential scoring areas
Exactly.
for the P3s, because it'd be terribly quite pointless putting a third man.
And to be honest, your team lives and dies on their B3 score. Those are every single match I've watched. A B3 has scored 40 plus. In successful chases and whatever. And those are the guys you've really got to learn to manage as the fielding captain. Okay, there's been another hold-up. I have no idea why. We have 2 very, very experienced umpires here. The guy at the Parkhurst end, who I think is Isaac, is probably South Africa's most experienced blind cricket umpire. He's always at these events. And on the other side, Carl Andritzer is one of the very experienced Gauteng umpires.
Great shot through to the mid-wicket area. Northern scrumper through for a single.
That takes them through to 86 for 4.
No, 87.
87 for 4.
It was a B1.
It was indeed. It was a B1 player, and so they get 2 runs for that single. And they just dink this into the offside and take a quick single. And they're going to be able to take 2 because of the gap that he put it in. Although if that had been a direct hit, he would have been out, I think.
Looking to scramble for a quick.
Looking for
It's
3
too
there
risky.
at one
It's
point.
too
yeah.
risky.
Far
Northern's
too risky.
absolutely no need to take unnecessary risks. They're far ahead of the run rate. They're well within the reach of their score. The last thing they would need is a silly run out, trying to scamper 1 extra run.
Marcus.
Scorers, no ball. No ball called from the umpire. We have Sonabile Makasi. Another no ball called.
No ball.
Border just need to find some courage to pull themselves back and break this partnership.
Why?
White ball called. So Sonabile needs to be, I think maybe the captain just needs to put a stranglehold on the game and speak a little bit more with these bowlers just to stay tight on that off stump line.
Yeah, I think it's tricky when, as a captain, you don't have enough runs on the board. It always just feels like the game gets away from you, and
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
becomes very, very difficult not to just be a passenger in those circumstances.
Absolutely.
And I think Northerns are completely in control of this game now. 93 for 4 after 8.5 overs, just 24 runs required. And Sanda Masondo in particular looking in control. He's 22 of 15. He's hit 2 fours. Bandila and Kosi batting well with him. Just the 4 runs. And if he can just rotate that strike, it's all anyone's looking from him.
Great ball from Sonabile. So now let's look for a sweep shot there. Great fielding, confusion between the batters.
So it was played in the air to the man at short mid wicket. He's one of the B3 players, and could very easily have taken that catch. It's Borders number 7, Lazola Daniels, certainly one of their top players. To try and take a quick single to him would have been foolhardy.
But a bit of a game awareness there. Maybe that should have come from the bowler's end, to indicate where the run-out opportunity was. And Sonabile, if he had called bowler's end, they would have got the danger man out, which is Asanda Masondo.
There is definitely a tendency for running to be chaotic in blind cricket. I'm not quite sure what it is about it. I suppose it's not inconceivable that we take for granted that we can see who that went to, and maybe these guys are sometimes not able to see which player it's been hit to.
But I'd assume the frenzy that gets created by the fielding side kind of jiffers the batters also, and gets them into that maniac or panic situation whereby shouldn't we take the quick single or not.
Exactly.
Hence, I think now the combination of a B3 or B2 or B3, B1 combination works out quite fine. You'd assume that your B3 would have more or slight more of a game awareness in terms of what's happening in the middle of the square.
Right, so this is the 10th over now. We're on 93 for 4, just 24 runs required. And it is going to be Asanda Masondo to face the bowler. Is the Jonathan Glover again? No, sorry, not Jonathan Glover. The bowler is Siviwe Vanase. This is not Siviwe, is it? This isn't Siviwe. Siviwe is a small guy. He's a short guy. Siviwe is number 3 over here.
Isn't Kolani Yeni? This is the B1 bowler. Who's Kolani?
I think Kolani,
the first
number 4.
Number 4. Is it number 4?
Number 4.
Yeah, it's not Siviwe.
We don't know if it's number 4, but we think it's him.
Yeah.
Yes, it is Kolani.
Bowling is last over.
And Masondo has a huge big sweep at it. To be honest, I don't think this is the way to bat at all. I think you use that straight bat when you're hitting back past the keeper.
Yeah.
That's when you use it. But to try and play that across the line
He was trying to go more square.
Yeah.
So you reckon if it ball more straight or a tight line?
That's a hard enough shot to play when you're a conventional cricketer. And this time he does hit it back past the keeper. That's exactly when he should be using that shot. But I'd like to see him sweep more when he's trying to play square.
Colin needs to drill this ball in. Kind of miscues.
There was some confusion. He threw it to the the square leg umpire, obviously as the visual cue that he saw.
Is it one of the reasons that umpires would wear bibs?
Bibs, yes, but I suppose what happened is the fielder had a brain fart and forgot that, of course, the umpire is standing at square and not at the wickets. and it might have been a complete mistake with the arm as well.
Yeah.
But he threw it quite accurately at the square leg umpire.
I'm just thinking now in my brain, being a conventional coach, how do you get to? But now I have an understanding why your B1s will be closer to
To the bat.
to the bat and your B2s and B3s a bit further from the wickets. But those basic techniques in terms of teaching them how to throw would be quite a trick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure where I would put my B1s. Maybe have them just... Actually, I know exactly what I would do. I would have my 2 B1s, or maybe even 3 B1s, lie down behind the keeper in a wall.
Okay.
And that's just what they do all day. Wouldn't be much fun for them, but it would be a highly effective tactic, because they don't really contribute too much. I mean,
Yes.
not through any fault of their own
Yes, yes.
in the outfield.
Reverse. Straight hit.
That reverse drive, I suppose, is what we...
Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm excited. I'm getting jibs and jatters. I'm mind blown. I mean, at some point, I see myself actually being part of such a setup.
You must absolutely get involved. Certainly, it's a pity that you're in Gauteng, where they've clearly got an excellent setup as well. But what a great crowd to work with.
Great comeback there from Border.
And we did actually pick this earlier on in the over. Asanda playing that straight bat shot, but across the line. He was always going to find himself in trouble eventually. Missed it, bowled him, and that is the end of Asanda. Did you spot his total before he was out? 31. He was 31.
Finally, breakthrough from Kolani Mcheri.
9, sorry, it's 29.
Gets a breakthrough for Border.
39, okay.
19.
The danger man, Asanda Masondo,
Give us the total quickly so we can give it to the umpires.
walking back to the
Oh, did he
pavilion.
not?
I told them.
But what a great mark. Absolutely.
102. 102 for 5.
102. Yes. I'll tell you when it's closer.
It is close.
I don't really mind, Simon, even if it's on charitable basis or just to learn. I mean, I've never been this excited
That's fantastic
watching a
to hear.
game and thinking of innovative ways and creative ways to actually help the game improve and also take some of the ploys and tactics into conventional cricket.
Absolutely. Pick your worst fielder and get it to lie down behind the keeper. Their parents would be upset, I'm sure.
Great shot through to mid-on.
They're going to come back for 3.
By the
Oh,
Tolo.
excellent running. Excellent running.
Great calling by the Tolo. Absolutely beautiful running from the Tolo. Great shot through to mid-on. And they scramble through for a quick 3. I think it's one of the positions. I mean, from what I'm seeing now, they've packed the offside, and it's quite confusing why the offside is that packed.
Yeah.
I mean, they would need probably maybe not necessarily a mid-on right on a ring. They can get him 4 to 3 feet away from non-striker
Yeah.
and get your conventional mid wickets. I'm assuming the Tolo's a B2 batter, so he would be able to gauge and have those or that ability to strike the ball quite far more.
No, it's... Oh. So the change of bowler, it is the number 12, Bomgela Mangendi. He was the opening batsman for Border. And this is driven straight back past him.
Great shot by the Tolo.
Over the bowler as well, over the boundary rather. It's 109 for 5 now, so they are down into single figures required. Just 8 runs.
This is exactly. I just pulled out this point just now, and the ball just went through to mid-on. It's astonishing why I didn't at least get somewhere in the middle, not necessarily on the edge of the inner ring, but a little bit more.
Well, I think, someone like Asando, who clearly enjoys playing with a straight bat rather than the low sweep, he's quite a tall guy as well. So he needs to be taught to drive it back past the bowler. There's no doubt. Wide ball called.
Wide ball called.
And that takes us on to 110 for 5. So we're right in the dying throes of this match. Been, I wouldn't say a clinical performance by Northerns, but they essentially just throttled Border in the bowling innings, and then have been able to bat with fair abandon in their batting innings. Through for a single. Nelson 111 for 5.
I think Wiseman has been quite essential to his partnership with Masondo. Has quite solidified and plugged the hole, or put the pressure back onto Border.
And of course, what happens there, is because he has a runner. I would assume they select those runners tactically. So you have guys who are good runners between the wickets to bat with the B1s. Well,
as I jinxed, Wiseman, he gets pulled. Baboyelwa. Great knock indeed.
That is the end of Wiseman's innings. I'll give you his total in a moment. But that now is the 6th wicket down. So I think probably too late for too many twists and turns in this innings. But Border haven't been left behind completely in this game. There's no doubt.
True, absolutely true. I feel if they could have got those slight field tactics on point and starve asunder, something magically could have happened.
Yeah. And I think critically the game was lost in the innings.
Yes. Those first 5 overs were very critical because the run rate just skyrocketed from the second over already. Nortons was roughly at 10 and over already.
Yeah.
In terms of the run rate.
So Bongela Mangindi does get his first wicket of the day, and immediately follows that up with the new batsman Sikle Mokoena. He is a B2. He's got himself a runner as well. His runner is the opening batsman Simpiwe Khoza. So he gets low looking for that sweep into the onside, no run. 112 for 6, just 4 runs required. 5 for the win, 4 for the par. As he again sweeps this into the offside. The bowler himself is going to come and collect it. That's the second time we've seen him collect and dive. Dive and throw.
Quite acrobatic. Hardly see such enthusiasm in conventional cricket. I just love his energy on the field.
Wasn't particularly necessary, if we're going to be entirely honest.
Well,
but
absolutely true. Absolutely true.
but certainly points for energy. I had a bit of a chat with him earlier, and he seems like a very, very nice guy.
Yeah. I don't want to lie, Simon. I have to be honest. This is by far the best cricket match I've ever watched in my life.
I'm so pleased you're enjoying it, and I'm hoping you're enjoying the commentary aspect of it as well.
It is quite fun, quite challenging, but quite fun.
For those folks who are unfamiliar with One World Sports Radio, we run a commentary team. Most of us are volunteers. Occasionally we get to have commercial gigs, but when we're doing free commentary off the TV, we are under the brand Guerrilla Cricket, which is a UK brand, and we will be bringing all of the Proteas games for the T20 World Cup. So watch out for us there. You can listen to us on 1WSR.com, and we'd love to encourage certainly the blind cricketers to be a part of that. I trust you'll be joining our commentary team.
Definitely. If I do have, if I find time on my schedule, I'll definitely.
Yeah, that's always the tricky one. All of us have day jobs, And so when some of those T20 games start at noon, I can see that there are going to be a couple of guys who are working from home, as they tell their bosses.
I think within my tight schedule, I think there can be slots that could be found. Sneak an hour or two or 30 minutes during my schedule.
The change bowler here is Sonwabile Mkazi. He is a B3.
Ditolo wants to finish it big, wants to go big and finish in style.
Just 3 runs needed now. Gets down flat, but hits it straight back at the bowler.
And there seems to be a stoppage from the umpire. I think there was 5 fielders on the leg side. It was going to be called a no ball. Good spot there from the square leg umpire.
Digged around the corner. They're going to come through for 1. Is there a chance of a second? No, there's not. And that's going to bring the B3 onto strike. B2 rather, sorry. Steve is the B2. He's using a runner today. U1s and B2s are quite entitled to use runners in this form of cricket. Field coming in close as well. They know that they really are down to the last 2 runs of the game. Put a little bit of pressure, see if they can't burgle another run out.
White ball called.
Wide, that's going to be enough to bring the scores to par. Both teams now on 116. Northern's 116 for 6 in reply to Border's 116 for 5. Big LBW appeal, and strongly responded to by umpire Aronsa. Not out. That is going to be the winning runs. A really good slog sweep over the mid-wicket boundary, away for 4. That is the end of the game. Northern's win by 4 wickets, and Border having fought hard to try and stay in that game, but unfortunately their batting innings let them down. They needed another probably 40 or 50 runs to have really been in it. Although with 4 down, if they'd had another 20 or 30 runs, things might have got very, very interesting. Chris, thank you very, very much for joining us. You will be on, I'm assuming, in the afternoon session as well.
Yeah.
And we will chat a lot. Cheers. Right, so as you hear the Northern's players singing in the background, it's our delight to announce the man of the match, who is Wiseman Makonzo. He's a B1 player. He scored 12 runs off 9 balls in the batting innings, and his bowling 2 for 12, I think, in bowling. Very, very good performance by him, and congratulations to Northerns as winners of this match.